Two more women are alleging in stomach-churning detail that Donald Trump sexually assaulted them years ago. The Washington Post was out first today, publishing an account this morning from a woman named Kristen Anderson, who claims in vivid description that Trump groped her in a New York nightclub decades ago. She explained her decision to come forward after the Access Hollywood video emerged.
I was just like, wow, that explains it. That explains what happened to me. In the early 90s, I was in New York City, and I was at a club with my friends. I'm very clear on this. This is the vivid part for me. So the person on my right, who unbeknownst to me at that time was Donald Trump, put their hand up my skirt. He did touch my vagina through my underwear. Absolutely. And as I pushed the hand away and I got up and I turned around and I see these eyebrows, very distinct eyebrows of Donald Trump. And I got up and I moved and I continued to talk with my friends. And they said, oh, that's Donald Trump. I was like, ew, he's gross. He just put his hand up my skirt. That's not okay. And we all sort of brushed it off and moved on.
After that, this afternoon, another woman named Summer Zervos, who was a contestant on Donald Trump's program, The Apprentice, held a press conference along with her very high-profile attorney, Gloria Allred. She said Trump made sexually aggressive advances on her at a Beverly Hills hotel in 2007. Here's how she recalled the encounter, when at one point she says Trump started kissing her without her consent.
I pushed his chest to put space between us, and I said, come on, man, get real. He repeated my words back to me. Get real, as he began thrusting his genitals.
Trump continues to strongly deny the mounting accusations of predatory behavior leveled against him by an array of women. He did so again today in his now familiar style at a rally in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Right now, I am being viciously attacked with lies and smears. It's a phony deal. I have no idea who these women are. Have no idea. When you looked at that horrible woman last night, you said, I don't think so. And Eyewitness has already debunked the People magazine story. She is a liar. She's writing a story. Check out her Facebook page. You'll understand. No witnesses, no backup, no anything else. Somebody makes an accusation that you did something and you weren't there. You never saw this person before. It's a lie, total lie. It's fabrication. Sometimes they do it for fame. Maybe they get money. Who knows? I was with Donald Trump in 1980. I was sitting with him on an airplane. And he went after me on the plane. Yeah, I'm going to go after. Believe me, she would not be my first choice, that I can tell you. Obama is an incompetent. He's an incompetent president. He's talking about me like he knows me. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. And why doesn't some woman maybe come up and say what they say falsely about me? They could say it about him.
Even if there are no new accusers against Trump, this story is not going away anytime soon. A suggestion from Trump's running mate this morning, Mike Pence, said that evidence undermining the allegations would be forthcoming today. None has materialized, and Trump said nothing today backing up any notion that this is a conspiracy against him, that the women are getting paid in any way or undermining any key aspects of their stories. Fortunate to have with us today, sitting in for John, one of the best Trump reporters in the country, as my co-host, Bloomberg Politics, Jennifer Jacobs. So, Jennifer, as we sit here today, the Trump campaign hasn't really offered anything specific that would undermine any of the accounts. Where does the campaign stand in dealing with this issue?
All we have is Donald Trump's word, and he went very aggressively after this. He had that whole battery of arguments. They're after free fame. They're after money. This is all fiction. He basically said these women are too unattractive for him to make sexual advances upon. I mean, he just adamantly denied this, and I think that's probably enough for his supporters. They're willing to believe him. They trust him at this point. There's very little that could shake their confidence in him. As far as what further proof, if there is further proof coming, you would think that they would want to put it out very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Pence is a pretty careful guy. The only way they could have proof undermining the whole thing is if they somehow found a Clinton campaign memo coordinating the whole thing and scripting it. I doubt that's going to happen. No one has found any connection between these women in politics, except for the fact that some of them say they're Hillary Clinton supporters, not all. This morning, Donald Trump, Mike Pence suggested, well, there's evidence we'll put out. But now there are 2 new accusers. Presumably they don't have any evidence, at least so far, on them. And of course, the woman who's accusing him now from The Apprentice is someone he does know. So this notion that these accusers are people who are new to him, in this case, he's going to have to confront that. What's your sense of how the campaign deals with this now? Do they know the facts? Are they trying to get the facts? Or simply will parrot, when he says this is false, they'll just parrot that?
I think they'll just parrot that. You're right. There's no plan that I've been able to determine that they have at this point, other than to just keep denying and denying and denying.
The other thing that fascinates me is Trump said, you know, my campaign doesn't want me to talk about this, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. It's interesting if he didn't talk about it, if he didn't lash at it, then of course we saw this with the Khans, and we saw this with Judge Curiel, we saw it with other people he's attacked. He's driving the story. I don't doubt that these new accusers would get some attention in the press. And we should say Donald Trump, like everyone else in America, is entitled to the presumption of innocence. But these are people who make incredible claims with no obvious motive, many of whom have told people contemporaneously. Their accounts would get attention, but they're going to get a whole lot more attention, not just today, but into the weekend, because he's responding.
But I can't underscore enough how much his supporters distrust the mainstream media. As reporters were, coming into Cincinnati last night, they were just being booed tremendously. And it doesn't help that the WikiLeaks dumps include evidence or what they perceive as evidence of friendly behavior between reporters in the Clinton campaign.
There's no question that the hardcore people. Look, I talked to people this week at a Trump event in Lakeland that you and I were both covered, who had said, including women, who had some combination of saying, these people are lying, or I don't really care what he did, that's what men do. I agree that his hardcore supporters like that, but number one, he needs more than his hardcore supporters to win. Number two, I don't need polling to know that some people are going to be turned off by this, that there's some people who were thinking of voting for Donald Trump who won't vote for him. They may not be people who go to the rallies. But in addition, the way he's handling this, disparaging the women, I've never seen anything like this in my career in politics, to go out knowingly, he clearly thinks in advance how he's going to handle it.
I did interview some Republican women today and said, what are you thinking about this? And how can you continue to believe him? And they said, listen, we're just tired of all this. We don't want to hear anything further about it. We've moved on. We're already voting for the Supreme Court. We're voting for the GOP platform. This is the nominee. This is the man that the party gave us. And so we're still going to vote for him, even though, yes, this stuff is disgusting. We just don't even want to hear about it anymore.
Yeah. There'll be some of that, but I'll just say again, it is the case that, let's say one of these people turns out to have made up their story. Possible, maybe more than one made up, we don't know. But almost all of them, I think, to the normal person watching their accounts or reading their accounts, watching the ones who've been on TV, they come across as people who don't have an axe to grind. They don't come across as people eager to do this. To the contrary, and he's yet to do anything. We'll wait for Mike Pence's evidence. They didn't do anything to undermine their argument.